I'm Rob Chapman.
And I'm the captain.
And we're here at the Smooth Jazz Lounge to show you the Cosm-loaded Boss ME-80 that sounds like it's come out of the 80s.
Do you need a man flu lozenge? You're sounding a bit throaty and chesty there.
I am a bit throaty and chesty.
Do you want one of these?
I'll try one.
Try one. They're a bit like a locket, but with no juice inside it.
No juice?
There's no
Why would you
juice.
want a locket with no juice inside? That's the bit that makes the locket actually good, isn't it?
So, today, Boss have kindly sent us the very, very, very first one of these into the UK, which is their new ME-80 pedalboard. Replaces the old ME-70, and I like the ME-70 and I like the ME-80 because it kind of sits in a different sort of box to perhaps what you'd see as a traditional multi-effects unit. So traditionally, if you look at things like the GT100 or the Line 6 Pod or Zoom or whatever, they tend to be zillions of gabillions of effects, and you have like an LCD display on there, or they'll say you have to plug it into your computer to edit it, and it's all about kind of creating patches of lots of different effects.
Can I give you a word?
Yes.
WYSIWYG.
WYSIWYG. I like
WYSIWYG.
it. Now,
What
obviously,
you see
that's
is-
not like just having lots of pedals. Having lots of pedals is the beauty of just being able to turn down and adjust the sound of your chorus by just fiddling with the knobs on your chorus pedal, and guitarists love that. But of course, the downside to having a pedal board is that if you buy, 10 or 12 pedals, you're in for at least £500 or £600, and that's just shopping with the budget brands. If you started buying some of the more expensive brands, you could run into thousands of pounds.
Yeah.
So the idea with the ME-80, it looks like it's got a lot of knobs on it, and I guess it has got a lot of knobs on it, but the idea is that it's very much like using lots of pedals.
It's like having 4 pedals and an expression pedal, and it's what you see is what you get.
WYSIWYG.
WYSIWYG. Simplicity for guitar players. Yay!
So you can see on close-up cam, essentially each type of effect is blocked into these sort of white boxes here. So you've got preamp models, you've got compression and sort of general EQ type effects, you've got distortion pedals, you've got modulation pedals, delay pedals, some more modulation and EQ effects up here, and a separate reverb control. And then these buttons here, which are kind of new and look a bit weird, it's 8 independent buttons, even though they're sort of in the same housing.
Oh, I see.
So you can see if you can see the red light.
Looks a bit like Megatron's foot.
I thought that, yeah, it looks a
anyone
lot
else
like Megatron's foot.
Comes from the 80s.
So this is what's called manual mode. So manual mode is as close to basically using independent pedals as this machine can get. However, it does have what's called memory mode, and memory mode switches it into a more conventional multi-effects style patch based, if you want something, if you like a combination of these effects and you just want to store that under patch number 1 or whatever number you want to give it, you can also do that. But we're going to demonstrate this in its manual mode.
So can we just turn everything off?
Yeah.
And then if I just play some clean guitar.
That's completely dry,
on
nothing
this
on.
Beautiful Chapman guitar. And if I literally just go, I don't know.
Turn the
that delay.
That's going to call up. No editing or saving. However the knobs are set for the delay mode, that's how it's going to call it.
I like that. Did you hear that? That's good. You turn it off,
Yeah.
and it lets the delay continue and
Old-fashioned
decay.
effects couldn't do that, could they?
No.
As soon as you turn the delay off, it went, oh, that's it, finished. So now, the preamp section here can be, it's kind of like, this is where your different amp sounds are. Now, obviously, if you're running into an amp that you already like the sound of, the chances are that you may not want to use this preamp section.
Is this a bit like a cube?
Kind of.
Yeah.
However, if you've got an amp that you fundamentally want to make sound different, or, and this is where it is different to the old ME-70, or you want to do some direct recording into your computer and you need something with speaker emulation, you would dial up here. So let's just give you a couple of examples of how easy this is to use. I should just say the speaker emulation on this amplifier is automatically switched on when you plug something in the headphone socket. So bizarrely, if you wanted to run the normal guitar amp outputs into, say, a PA and switch on the speaker emulation, you've just got to plug any old dummy, jack plug or whatever into the headphone socket, and then it will automatically come on. But we're not using speaker emulation.
Can I just say that this sweet has gradually become delicious? It started off absolutely disgusting.
Yeah.
And I was gonna remove it off camera.
Chapman is now officially endorsed by Man Flu lozenges. They're not even called lozenges. I like it. They're called lozzers. It's called, I need a Man Flu lozzer.
Yes.
Is that like a blozzer?
So I can finish building a wall, or slaughtering a goat, or cooking some barbecue.
So if I turn this on, excuse me, I would hit this button here. And we have, what have we done? We've kind of emulated what they call a driven guitar amp sound. So there's loads of different guitar amp sounds there. So that was crunch. Let's do, I mean, again, it's got metal gain, so this will be obviously like some sort of boogie based, I would have thought, or high gain based. So here we go. You might be thinking to yourself, that sounds mighty fine, and the reason for that is because it's the using the same COSM technology out of the Boss GT100, which is quite an expensive multi-effects unit. So the first time that we get into what I suppose you would consider pedals is this section here, which is a combination of compression effects, auto wahs, octave pedals, something called a D-fretter. That sounds good.
D-fretter? Can we hear that straight away?
Yeah, an acoustic simulator, ring modulator. I'll just run through them. So this is the compressors. Swell effect, as far as I'm aware.
Oh, it's good. It's a bit like the Strymon.
Couple of effects here to make a single coil sound like a humbucker, or in reverse, a humbucker to sound like a single coil. So let's
I'm on the neck bucker.
Okay, so this is let's...
Oh.
So that's humbucker with the effect.
It's not a bad idea.
And then the solo, which is just a volume boost. So I'm going to turn this off now, and what I'll do, I think I'll demonstrate each of these separately, and then for fun we'll create some patches for Chappers. So now we're on to the distortion mode. So I've turned the preamp off, so this is just the sound of the Black Star amp that we're using with some drive sounds, and I'll just whiz through them. You can just... This is your octave fuzz.
Oh, the octave fuzz.
Yeah. One of the banks that the old ME-70 didn't have is a second sort of modulation bank. Now the reason behind this is because on the old pedal you had one bank of modulation effects, which meant if you wanted a chorus and a flanger or a chorus and a tremolo to be on at the same time, you couldn't do that. What they've done now is given you a basic set of modulation effects: phaser, tremolo, boost, delay and chorus, plus then all of the old modulation effects that you got before. So you can choose to double these up if you want to. So the first one, let's just start going through them actually, because there's loads on here. So
I'm playing pentatonic in the key of A.
A, so because this is a harmonist built in, so an actual harmony. I should say as well, all of the engines in here are using the new Boss
Cosm?
multi-tone. What was that thing that we did on the chorus pedal and the Terra Echo and the multi-dimensional
palm hand?
That was it. But the multi-dimensional thing that they did before, this is in here. Delays, simple again. We've got just a load of different delays: analog delays, modulated delays, reverse delays. Anyway. We also have a looper built in. It's not a big looper, it's only a 36 seconds worth of loop time, but good fun if you just want to do some basic jamming over some chords and stuff. What else have we got here? So that's and then we've got some wah pedal type things. So
give me a wah pedal then.
Okay, so let's just turn the reverb back on again. He says looking for reverb, there we are. So just like a Dunlop wah. Bit of a wodge on the end of your toe. So here we go. We've got a whammy effect. So here we've got, in fact, the whammy effect goes to various, you can either go up or down an octave. We've got the freeze control, which I think if you just play a chord. Kind of like infinite delay. Just turn it off now. And what it can also do as well is be set to actually control the amount of oscillation or overdrive or the modulation.
So you can assign
rate
it to any of these pretty
much.
Well,
you've got 4 things that you can assign it to, but pretty much. So that's kind of it. You know, I mean, when you think that this ME-80 is going to sell for about £220.
That's affordable.
Yeah, I mean, it's clearly it's aiming at the guy that probably just wants to get into this necessarily, as opposed to the guy that's perhaps already got a bunch of pedals and all that kind of stuff. But you know, what's this? This is essentially the same price as buying 4 compact pedals.
For my money, I think some of the overdrives are good. Some of them are a little not so good.
Yeah.
But the effects, the delays, the modulations, the compressions, they're great.
Yeah.
You know, they're really good. And for the money, I mean, even if you just wanted to use this as an effects processing for the delays, the compressors, that kind of thing, it's well worth the cash.
I think my favourite thing about ME-70 and ME-80 is, it's the WYSIWYG. It's like, you don't, you probably won't bother ever needing the manual. You know, I mean, certainly, I say this, I've never read the manual for this. I asked the guy from Boss just to take me through a couple of the things that are maybe a little bit new on this. But I mean, perhaps if I wanted to, I know what there is on this that wasn't on the old ME-70. There is a USB output.
Yeah.
The USB output can either be used as an on-screen editor. I know I kind of said right at the beginning of this video that the beauty of the ME-80 is you kind of don't need an on-screen editor, but they've given you one anyway. And it also will work as an audio output as well. So if you just want to record direct into your PC, you can do that via USB.
It's a pretty practical piece of gear, isn't it?
Yeah, it's got a tuner built in, as Rob said. It's all chunky, proper Boss metal. It doesn't come with the power supply, which I always think is a bit naughty of Boss. They do it on a lot of their pedals.
Really?
Yeah, so you have to buy the power supply.
How many batteries does it take, Lee?
It does come with batteries, and it will run on batteries. And I think it uses 6 of the AA batteries, I'm pretty sure. But I doubt you get more than a few hours out of the battery, so you have to buy the power supply. Power supply typically is about £20, but do remember you've got to buy that as a separate. So I think what we should do now is just kind of sign out really with Rob having a play in where we use lots of combinations of pedals. Perhaps try and we'll get some classic kind of sounds of guitarists that Rob likes, a bit of Satriani, a bit of Slash or something like that.
And until
see
then,
what we can do.
I have been Chappers.
And I have been the Capitan.
We bid you farewell.